All right, greetings. Hopefully, I didn't pull my mic out of its socket. I guess I better check just in case. Testing. So far, so good. Okay. All right, greetings. We're solo tonight. Well, the cats are here in the background somewhere. All right, so yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'll probably do one of these tomorrow. So this is kind of a subject matter that just can't seem to go away. So darkness that doesn't know it's dark. It's kind of I'm not going to go super deep into that, but kind of just put this out there as different versions of it. Like we hear like the villain thinks it's always doing the good deed. We're kind of find out it's the bad guy. So that's very common. You see that in our government. You see that with the police. Well, not all the police, but some of them. And it goes on and on with that. And Pegasus Constellation, that's the flying horse. And spiritual nomads, it's just a little bit of everything. We'll just see what comes through on that. Okay. So as Ivan.com, we have price sessions, a scheduler, shop here. I'm behind. I don't even know where I'm at right now. I think I'm still in February. Same situation here. February 24th. Webinar Saturday. Social network and behind the scenes. Anyway. All right. Darkness, unknowing itself. You'd be surprised how many. Yeah, this is not going to be for everybody, but whatever. And darkness doesn't like to be. There's some people feel like we're going to go in this positive timeline. Everything's going to be great and wonderful. But how long they've been saying that for? I don't know, thousands of years. I imagine the same old rhetoric's been going on, forever. But I mean, just to put it out there, there are a lot of demonic beings here that think they're positive, and they're reincarnated here as humans. And some of them have a lot of knowledge, but they don't. But a lot of them are demonic, and they might be as like, wow, this person's spiritually a spiritual genius, but also a demonic being. So of course, they say they're going to get rid of the lower energies and all of that, but I mean, how delusional can you get? I mean, the idea is to balance darkness and light, but many don't see it that way. So it's a very complicated subject matter. There's always different ways of looking at it. But you see, even those that are like really positive, but they're also kind of poisonous, like positive parasitic positivity. There's a lot of that too. It's like they're just so positive, they're psychotic. And of course, they're not going to realize that. They're too busy in their own little world. So yeah, it's like I said, it's complicated. It's so sophisticated. Can your average person understand it? No. And that's another thing that showed up today. Those that are like spirit, we'll just call them spiritual leaders, that have a huge following, and people aren't realizing some of them are really dark, and they're absorbing the energy of their audience, literally vampiring it, and people aren't aware of it. So it's kind of keeping people from evolving when you have this trickster being that's absorbing the energies of a crowd. Now that's pretty intense. You see it in churches, but what about the current spiritual communities? What about that? Is it? I mean, it's just it's complicated. So, of course, you have some that feel like they know everything, which also shows an ego, which also shows darkness. Not to say that ego's dark, but anyway, it gets complicated. It's just a convoluted, complicated, situation. But the darkness doesn't always know about itself. It's like you can see darkness in other people, but you can't see darkness within its own what it's doing. So, and there's also different levels of evil too, meaning that there's evil that won't cause harm to others, but evil that can be very sophisticated and get what they want or whatever it might be, or a lot of selfishness connected to it. Either way, it's a complicated subject. I have to keep saying that because, like, I think it's more complicated than people realize. I mean, it's not really talked about that much, but you just follow your intuitions. Like, suppose how some of these positive people that say they're positive, how dark are they? They're not ready to see their own darkness. Um, and it's just, this whole, yeah, like I said, this whole deal about we're going this positive timeline. I mean, yeah, we kind of are, yes. Doesn't mean we're going to a doomsday, but we're going to the timeline we need to go into. Let's put it that way. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of delusion energies out there. A lot. It just we'll have a long ways to go. It seems. So the Pegasus energies, basically, there are other human energies there in the constellation. Uh, Maybe we're in sixth, seventh dimension, eighth dimension. We can't really see them. At least that's the vibe I'm picking up on. Yes, of course, they have technologies very advanced. They actually have visited us. Well, everybody's visited us, so we can absorb their energies and whatever it might be. Some of the energies are in the judges. Let's see, in the wall, to cut through the darkness. Let's see here. Yeah, trying to find the right one. All right, we'll just bring something up here. Oops. Yeah, let's see here. Just give you a better understanding of the energy that's coming from it. It's a horse upside down. Yeah, Pegasus energy is just for us to go with the flow. Let's see. Just there's less a lot of like more of your positive energies with the what is it? I see. I keep feeling law. Like the more balance in our judge and jury and things like that. The laws that are here for us to. Eventually we're going to break those contracts here. Eventually, of course, you have the energy with the Ukraine. So the Ukraine contract seems to be extended a lot. At least the war. The war there can actually be closed out sooner, but someone keeps extending it for various different reasons. So over time, that will come more clear to that. Yeah, this is so many different agendas right now. Their agendas are clashing into each other. China wants to get involved. I think they're pulling back a lot. China doesn't know what it wants right now. But back to the Pegasus frequency. It's basically, yeah. I feel like the beings that are there are normally higher frequencies. There might be a third dimensional world there, but I mean, obviously there are third dimensional worlds there, of course, so we can see them. But normally it's high frequency for the most part. There are humans that are like half horse and half human. Obviously, some people here are going to have trouble with that one. People here are going to have trouble with a lot of things, as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of stuff that's just kept back from us. We just figured out this whole human thing, and just never mind about everything else that's more interesting out in the universe. Yeah, human is pretty primitive compared to other beings that are out there. I mean, not to say human is insignificant. It is important, but there's a lot out there that's just, yeah, more colorful. Just more, obviously, if we connect to it, we'll see our reality. It's like, gosh, we really are in a black hole, aren't we? In some form, yeah. Is this when is humanity wanting to free itself? Slowly. What kind of brave souls are wanting to unlock, heal the ego, unlock reality, so it can connect more to itself? There's a let's see, is of course there's a lot of third dimension here that's still not. So that's the thing. People say that the higher frequencies are coming up or going to this new Earth, which we are in some way. I mean, some people have to die and get there. All of a sudden you get sick and then you go into the higher frequencies. There you are. You're on the new Earth. Welcome to the fourth or fifth dimension, wherever you end up. But the third dimension here has, the physical has a long contract. So it's not about to heal itself anytime soon. I mean, it's not about to go higher frequency, and, we're connected to angels and everything. And there's just a lot to learn from the physical earth for it's not ready to let itself go just yet. The more of humanity gets out of its fear state, obviously it's holding on for dear life. But majority is still in the fear. Even those that don't care about any of this, there's still a fear of the unknown. You know, it's just still. It just they don't think about it that much. People don't think about spirit realms and all. Of course not. They just know to stay away from it because that's the program. Well, because the elite that run the planet, whoever you call them, obviously it's they don't want you to see them. They want you to just live in your merry little way. Enjoy the physical, enjoy the movies, enjoy all the stuff we're going to throw at you, the music that's hypnotizing people. And they're not, when you turn all of that off, all you have is the stars and the universe and all that. So you start reconnecting to all those things and you start seeing stuff. People see it now, but then they get distracted, so they shut it off. So they tune out. So all these obvious, I mean, this is obvious for many people, but obviously all of these distractions here are just to tune you out from, the higher dimensional world, the aliens and all of that. So, oh, look, now we have a Ukraine thing. Oh no, World War III. Oh no, it's just tuning us out from the physical, the non-physical. I mean, basically, yeah, no, physical and non-physical is supposed to live in harmony with each other. Basically, I mean, that's yeah. Physical is not going to go. I don't know if the physical world will ever go away. It'll improve. It'll get easier, um, but it'll still have its place here. I mean, it won't. Yeah, it's just not until all the lessons, everything is learned here. When it's like, okay, we don't need this anymore. We don't need to experience physicality here anymore. Then they'll be gone. But it's holding on not for dear life. It feels, yeah, it owns the place. So, to connect to the demonic realms, uh, obviously, a lot of humans here that are in the physical are connected to the demonic realms, which our justice system, you can go on and on with that. Teachers, parents, whatever. It's like a half human, half demon world, basically. But that's how you learn. So even the light beings that come from the higher frequencies incarnate here, and they can be like the most spiritual people on the planet, but they can also be the evilest people on the planet too. Of course, they're not going to hear that from them. If you say that to them, it's like, I feel their evil side. It's like, well, you're evil. They'll defend themselves. It's fast. It's I don't know if it's fascinating. I don't know. It's complicated. So yeah, it's just it can use its own it can darkness here obviously can be like a college course. You could probably run the whole university of just understanding darkness on this planet. Isn't that Harvard University pretty much? I mean, that's most of the universities anyway, but they don't really talk. I mean, they talk about it, but they don't talk about it. But anyway, um, but yeah, the idea for our world to is finding balance. But if people can't handle darkness, there's different reasons. First off, not everybody needs to be around it. That's fine. But some, yeah, it's so complicated. Like some are just, let's see, I'm tapping into this. Like they're not, yeah. When they get too close to seeing their own darkness, like if they see other people with darkness similar to them, they get kind of scared or worried because then they have to look inside themselves, and they're not quite ready for that. It's like, wow, I don't like those people. They're just not willing to see themselves, and you can be carrying out a lot of madness and not see it. So it's such a complicated subject matter. I keep saying that over and over again. Just the more that it's understood, like Aleister Crowley is kind of just I don't know, just overrated. Yeah, I don't think he knew what the hell he was doing, but whatever. More power to you on that one. Transvestite. Nothing better to do with his time. um, the spiritual nomad energies is basically those that are just becoming more spiritual and just not afraid to speak their mind. You have that now, but obviously you keep back from really going all the way for obvious reasons, for your own safety, of course, and the safety of others, because you can bring out too much. You might be able to connect to aliens and angels and all of that, but obviously a lot of people are not ready for that. They don't want to hear it. But that's becoming more of society eventually. At least they accept this part of culture that's here to stay and just going to get bigger and bigger. And you can't stop it. It's just going to become so huge where you can call it a culture and call it whatever you want. It's not a movement, it's more than that. It's just it's going to be like any other, it's going to be a part of society that society can't ignore anymore. Eventually, like you say, we're in alternative spirituality will become more. I don't know if it's going to become more. I mean, obviously, it's going to become more advanced in religion, of course, but it's going to take over religion. Well, you never know. It's a possibility, but realize if modern spirituality gets bigger than religion, most likely there's going to be a big part of it's going to be hijacked because the darkness has to go somewhere. You already see it now. It's like we're seeing a preview of what else is out there. But there's a bigger level of yeah, it's just the way it is. So with all these alien connections that you're doing now, in the future, people are just going to take it and run with it. Obviously, take it to a whole another level beyond what we've already seen, because the spiritual teacher, will be very advanced, and very manipulative, like a wizard, basically. Or it might another word is gatekeeper. They even reveal themselves. Yeah, there's a lot of, and that's your magicians or some of the spiritual teachers that are here, and they're already or they already have a huge following as it is, huge following. They're not religion; they're just spiritual beings, and they're just, yeah, they might be very advanced, but also they have advanced manipulation, and they're there to keep you locked into this reality for now. And you can easily see their change their frequencies. Like, wow, is that spiritual teacher? Is that a creature? Like if you might not believe it if you see it, but some of them are kind of monster looking creatures. Of course, people here won't believe that, but some of them are. Now, if it's a good creature or not is another story. Probably not. Some of them might be. Most of them aren't going to be. But like some kind of monster being. So you look beyond the human. What do you see? With some of these spiritual, people giving guidance. Some are very tamed and kind and exactly what they say they are and genuine, but others are have another trick, up their sleeve. But they know how to manifest people and control them, give up people what they want because they're part of the hypnotism that's connected to ancient Babylon. Uh, yeah, it's Babylon, was reset, but also a lot of those manipulations went to Egypt and went into modern society eventually. There's a Knights Templar energies there. They basically know how to control the spirit world. They control what we see. So, like, you have TV that shows you a picture and all that, but a person can show you a picture also. Like, they can bring a reality to you, which is, I don't know if we call it scary, but it's intense. So yeah, they bring this false reality into the modern world. So they keep you in a bubble. And when people wonder why you come here, and it might be you come here for the most nonchalant reason is just to see through the controlling reality. Just to see through the manipulation. And you see through the manipulation, and you send your energy to other people, and it's up to them if they want to see what you see. So a lot of people don't want to see that. Well, depends on the control is very enticing. Mhm. It's entertaining. Mhm. So, yeah, just that's what we're going into is a time of seeing the portrayals, the spiritual portrayals around the world, which is on my, and even of course, the secret space program energy has a lot of it. A lot of it's what I picked up from the secret space. A lot of that's old information that's a lot is being told to us. I mean, it's outdated. Of course, we wouldn't know that. I mean, there's new stuff that we can't see. I think some people can see it, but they don't understand it. But a lot of the disclosure information is just old. I know it sounds weird saying that, but a lot of it's just old. To us, it's new. But because it's declassified, you can say. But a lot of us are shut. Obviously the astral realms. If I can tap into the astral, most of that is off limits. Obviously, I mean the ocean is, of course, the sky, but the oceans are pretty much like an astral energy. It has human conscious. Of course, human consciousness is in everything. But the astral realm, there's a lot of guardians of the astral realm that can, kind of shut our minds off from it, so we can't see what's going on. Because the astral connects. So astral is it's an ocean of energy. I mean, it's energy, of course, but it's also timelines. So you can just see the timelines more clearly. Of course, people there, beings there, don't think anything of it, but because you have Earth incarnation, of course, so sometimes you're allowed clearance to see more of the future. but obviously most of the time it's closed out, locked in. Because that's where the stronger magician energies. So who runs astral and all that? The the universe. The universe is I wouldn't call it a well. I guess yeah. There's a universe plague. So there's like disease in the universe itself too, which yeah, the universe. I wouldn't call it sick, but it has a sickness in the universe. It's like its own virus in the energy fields, which opened up our war realms. I mean, I wouldn't say the war realms is a virus, but I guess some of it can be seen that way. Yeah, there's just a lot of devils here, obviously. And there's also, yeah, devil beings that are devil societies that look like devils. Some of those are from Mars, they're from different places also. But they live their lives like it's normal. I mean, it's like a devil species. Of course, people here are scared to death of it. Well, not everybody. Well, because once again, if you're a dark person, you get revealed. They don't want to reveal themselves. It's like they might have darkness within themselves that they don't want to see, but they don't, it's like talking about their darkness is like talking about their family. It's like, oh, I want to disconnect myself from my family, but I don't know. It's a mess there. um, let's see. So the astral, uh, there's a lot of geometry energy in the astral. A lot of light codes. They're designed to keep it locked down from us to see. Like I said, there's many guardians, and it's linked into our Agartha reality too. So the Garthians can see astral more clearly than us. But if they try to tell us the future, they get blocked from it. Yeah, I mean, because that's part of. I mean, they're more of a higher frequency, so they can connect more to their powers. So that's why you have magician beings there, but then they have their own problems though. Yeah, because they can see all they can see more than us, obviously, for better or for worse. So, so the elemental being always, let's see, um, a lot of the gateways from Agartha, the energies work through the trees, for us to unlock ourselves. Obviously, for us, I mean, the tree, of course, there's a lot of nature areas that are rituals, like where the Rockefellers and Rothschilds do their rituals there, because that's where all the knowledge is to the astral, to the Agartha, so that they shut down the doorway, they control it. So where people are the missing people and all that, because there's a doorway there. So like you go into a forest and you get lost. If they didn't put their magic on it, you can easily probably go into Agartha or somewhere pretty easily. Now, maybe I'm overstepping that a little bit, but physically, I mean, spiritually, you can. You might be still here in the physical, but part of you, because you go into a forest. I imagine people have been connected to some kind of trees and all. You walk in there, it's like you almost get hypnotized, and it's like you go into like a meditation. You go into a hypnosis, and you kind of go out of your body and go into another realm altogether. So there's a lot of say lost time. Yeah, because you go into like a tree area, and usually it has to be away from the people, and you can pretty much kind of like get it's like you're being abducted, you can say, but not necessarily in a negative way. So obviously these the druids and beings similar to that put spells on the trees. The Grand Canyon has a spell on it to keep the knowledge hidden because there's a lot of portals in the Grand Canyon that is still not known, but it's not as strong as the tree energies like in some of these forests. Because like some of these forests, from what I can feel, you go deep inside of it and you're there for a long time. You feel like you're on another planet all of it. And it depends on who you are. If you're used to it, you can ground yourself better, but other people are not used to it, just leave their bodies. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If it gets complicated, if there's a spell on the trees itself to manipulate, to abduct people and all that, obviously it gets more intense. So, like a place like Yellowstone Park, in the United States, where people get abducted and get lost, it's like they walk into parts of Yellowstone and it's like their soul almost leaves their body. Maybe not fully, but it leaves their body, so it's easy for a being to snatch them up. I know it sounds a little strange there, but it's like that's not always a bad thing, them leaving their body, but if another being comes in to take advantage of it, then the person can disappear. Yeah, it does get complicated there. At least that's the energy I'm picking up on it. So, even with the trees, there's a lot of cloning energy that can be done there too. Meaning that you can. I want to take this to another. But if you're ready for bizarre, um, so now realize these are alien beings at the fourth and fifth dimension. Um, so like your soul leaves your body for a little bit. So some alien beings can literally clone your soul because it's just energy. So they use it. I feel like they use the technology. They clone your soul, so it's not really you anymore. It's partly you, like a fractal of you is there, not much. And they can put that new soul into your body, which is kind of messed up. And then they can control you and stuff like that. And you might not remember what happened. That's pretty screwed up. I mean, I'm not trying to put fear out there, but it seems like that's something that they can do. That's pretty. I mean, it feels like it's pretty advanced, but it doesn't really sound like it's all that. No, it's just energy. Like when they clone this, it doesn't take very long either. Not that I mean, it's enough of you where it looks like you. It kind of acts like you. It's like a drunk version of you. That doesn't. I don't feel like they do that very often. It all depends on the situation, but it doesn't feel. It's like cloning a physical body is more complicated because it's physical, but a soul is easier to mess with. It's just frequency. So it's like you leave your body for a moment, not thinking anything of it. Then you get like energy attacked, and then you find out, like, wait, is there another soul in my body now? And you can't get back into your body. Obviously, that's pretty extreme, but I think that does happen. I don't know where, who, what, how that works, but that's another where why some people are like turn into psychopaths. Some turn into serial killers. Um, some are just they just lose their minds altogether because it's not really them. It's a part of them, but it's not really the same original soul. And sometimes the original soul can come back in to their body, but then it has like a tug of war between light and dark now. That's pretty messed up. I've never seen that before. So it's like the soul is trying. I mean, obviously we're physical; we don't see it, but like you have a person that's completely nuts, but you one day they're like all nice and their original self, but then the next day they're just a psychopath, or the next minute, whatever it might be. I mean, that's what we're up against here. I mean, it sounds like a neat movie, but is humanity really too ready to see stuff like that? Well, because it's done spiritually, astrally, people here need to see it physically. So technically, you do see it physically. You see a person change. You see them act all crazy, but then on one day they're fine, one day they're nuts. So you do see it physically, but they're not. We're not educated to understand a lot of the stuff because we're not supposed to. Here, take some pills and get out of our way. So obviously, the system that's designed, the psychiatrists and all that, obviously those that are supposed to help us are actually making things worse. I mean, yeah, they can help people, of course, through drug addictions also, but there's another level of knowledge that can be accessed, of course. I mean, some people, yeah, psychiatry definitely works, but there's another level of psychiatry where, I mean, psychiatry is kind of like related to psychotic, but they can also see the psychotic side of people and things like that, but understand it on a more spiritual level. Some do, most don't, because the brainwashing that went into it, and it's so sophisticated how this world's been shut down. I mean, they can make like a college course of how messed up this place is. I mean, they probably have it somewhere. I mean, a whole university dedicated of how messed up this world is, and how to unlock it. Obviously, is not the easiest. Um, yeah, stuff like this. It's just, uh, go back to the spiritual community. Always to some of the bigger names in the spiritual community. This is probably nothing new, but some of them are like Pied Pipers. To lead you somewhere. I'm not going to mention names, but there's some literally like a Pied Piper. We would just to lead you to the wolves. Play this little song, say this little talk, be real popular, look the part, look attractive to a certain level, and lead people astray. And it's so advanced, yes, people might see it and complain about it, but the masses still get pulled into it like sheep. It's almost like leading people to the slaughterhouse in some regard, the mental slaughterhouse, where they can't think for themselves anymore. Just follow what I say, and you'll all be fine. I mean, it's truly an advanced hypnotism there. Yeah, I mean, how do you free yourself from all of this when it's so sophisticated, and you counter the larger aspect of, those with a huge following, you counter it, and it just falls on deaf's ears of I mean, how massive this program is. And technically it's kind of like a computer program. You don't have to look at it that way, but it kind of is, where us the people are seen as the enemy. And so those the rulers of the world obviously are designed to conquer us. We're technically to them the villain, because we just want to, be free and all of that. It's like, no, we're not going to have that. We're just going to crush your asses. So, yeah, obviously people have to heal their victim mentality and stuff like that, which is not easy. But seeing beyond all this nonsense, I mean, there's so many layers, because I believe a lot of people, even listening to this, have actually figured out how this is all being done. But then you get weaponized mentally, attacked or whatever it might be, and you just say, okay, okay, I won't think about that anymore. You'd be surprised. You might have actually connected to it, but then you got mentally attacked to shut yourself down from all of that. So it's, yeah, a busy world, as you can see. So obviously the elite beings that are here, yeah, are obviously controlling the astral realm. So we can't. Yeah, it's like there's a positive side of astral. There's also a neutral area of astral. So for you to enter in. So obviously, enter into our world. So we do it astrally. Go from spirit to astral to here. There's darker parts of astral where your armies of darkness incarnate as humans. And so funny, some of them are rappers. Nothing against rappers. The music, rap music. Some of it's weaponized here by reptilian beings. Seduce, confuse. I might as well call it confusion music than anything else. So it's just, uh, let's see, I'm going to divert a little bit. So some of these beings that are incarnated here that are so called spiritual awakened. Some of them are literally trickster beings. And it doesn't mean that they're demonic, but there's some are advanced spiritual people have a lot of darkness. Obviously, if you say something about it, that's not going to go anywhere. They just tell you that you're dark. You don't know what you're talking about, and you're evil and whatever. But there's so many here that are hijacked. It's you know, I mean, it makes sense. Like it's a spiritual war. So you have this spiritual community, and people are saying, "Wow, so that means everybody here is going to be nice." And then you find out a lot of it's evil. Was it? Where do you think the darkness is going to work? I mean, because you're going to the spiritual awakeness, you're getting more closer to astral. So unless you shut yourself down and go back to sleep and watch the news and be a robot for society, when you start doing spiritual work and connecting more to the astral realms and spirit guides and aliens, this is where the spiritual war is at. They're going to do everything they can to shut you down. They're going to send their demonic beings. They're going to send everything they got. They're going to send you attractive people that are actually like, was it like demonic terminators? I had one of those, like a demonic terminator here to shut me down. It's like, I mean, there's no end to it. I think I've had two or three demonic terminators trying. What are they sent here to shut me down? And most of them been, yeah, well, they all been female form, far as I know. It's like it just nonstop. I mean, they're literally, yeah, it's just a psyop within a psyop, basically. Yeah, so you have these demonic spiritual terminators that are here just to shut you down spiritually, get you all confused, get you depressed, get you to be obsessed with them and not your path, and just basically just like pull the soul out of you, basically. So yeah, it's a spiritual warfare that's done with the mind, which is even worse. I mean, if somebody comes with an axe or something, at least you see the axe, you see the weapon. Of course, then again, you're at home and you see a knife. It's like, okay, this sucks. So that's not that great either. But yeah, it's all complicated. Once again, yeah, it's so. Like as we go into our next wave of awakening, where people do start seeing things like in their mind's eye, like your neighbors, you see them as like demonic beings, and it's like, oh, that must have been a manipulation. Oh, but what if it isn't? Then again, some demonic beings can be very nice people. They just have a lot of darkness. I mean, they say, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're not here to hurt anybody. It's like, wow, wait, look, demonic, devil people basically that are actually nice. That's different. And then you might see elephant people and so on, and you know, yeah. Try seeing an ostrich person. I haven't seen one yet. Well, maybe I have. I just don't. Yeah, I have. I bring them up every once in a while because you look at ostriches, they're kind of a pain in the ass. And then you put that in human forms, like, okay. Yeah, somebody absorbed my energy. So, so yeah, so a little bit of a recap. So the Pegasus energies seem to be of a higher frequency. Of course, nothing's perfect. They're very similar to like Venus frequencies too, and Palladian, but they are pretty much a Peg. Of course, they're not called Pegasus beings or anything, but either way, we got to take it for what we got. A being from whatever, being from Pegasus, whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. I'm getting a message here. One second. So I'm getting energy of the North Star. I guess it's the brightest. Really? The brightest star in the night? Well, maybe not always. I don't know what that's connected to. Uh, I guess it's connected to the Big Dipper. I just got the energy of a North Star. It's not really showing its. Uh, Polaris. Yep, there you go. The North Star connected to Polaris. Higher frequency. I figured it might show up. So Polaris. Um, but it's an Ursa Minor. So Polaris beings, yeah, usually, yeah, they're a higher frequency that even we don't understand, of course. The Polaris beings connect to our spirit guides. Um, they do know how to heal reptilians. So you have beings that can heal the reptilian energy. So wonder why some people are have reptilians in their lives because you're healing that frequency because a lot of it became toxic due to galactic connections being at war all the time, being manipulated by everybody and so on. Here, I'll show it here. What I'm getting at. Find it. Okay. Yeah, it's Polaris, no star, Ursa Minor. So at least obviously there's more to them than just that, but so yeah, some people wonder why they have like a reptilian in their life or why like a real negative one. Um, either through like if you have psychotic parents or psychotic brother and sister and all of that, and you're none of those things. It's like you feel like you're getting punished, but you're actually healing those energies, and you have a contract to help them release. Not release it on you, but sometimes they might release your aggression, but you're just calming down a lot of that negativity, even protecting people from others. Like, hey, I've dealt with this being before. I know how to deal with it because people here in our reality aren't aware of everything, but you are. So if you have family member that's a psycho, you on an energy level tell people this person's a psycho. Don't give in to all their manipulations. And another person's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't give up. You know, I shouldn't give up my power to this person, whatever. So more of that's going to get stronger of people understanding how we're telepathically communicating with each other. And some people say, screw off, I don't want to listen to that. Then they have to go through the test of that. Either that the manipulated person is going to attack you, kill you, whatever it is. I mean, that's the lesson there. Yeah, those some harsh lessons. There's the easy way and there's the hard way. I mean, many people come here to make things easier, but humans here been so manipulated for such a long time. It's hard to connect to the obviously hard to connect to the higher frequencies because they're not used to it. Yeah, it's definitely a galactic war here for sure. Yeah, some people said that it's just humans get figuring ourselves out. Yeah, but there's still spirit guides and there's beings screwing with us all the time. Why? Because why not? They have problems. They swear out their problems through us. So it gets kind of it's complicated as always. So all right, hopefully this is helpful. Yeah, this is a weird, not your usual, but hopefully it's nice and in depth and deep. Um, but yeah, I don't want to go too deep into the dark stuff, but I didn't go that deep as I could. But it's enough to open up some thinking patterns of it's a truly touchy subject, especially those I feel like they aren't dark when actually they are. Admit your own darkness. You don't have to like wear say, hey, look I mean, you have a balance, but others aren't ready to see that, of course. So, all right, blessings and take care. Here we go. Blessings.